Now, everything related to The Mandalorian Season 2, it was actually quite surreal seeing Jon Favreau bringing Luke Skywalker back into the equation by really giving fans exactly what they wanted to see all along within the sequel trilogy movies. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that they are finally on the road to success here, all because of The Mandalorian and what they were able to tease with the Book of Boba and their plans for Season 3 of Mando. I mean, a lot is in store for the franchise, and it's honestly looking very good for Star Wars. That is very important. Anybody out there that remains very skeptical about the future, everything is looking very good. Everything's looking very much high quality. Let's not forget, make no mistake, that a lot of the projects moving ahead are going to have a higher budget than both Mando Season 1 and 2 combined. That's exactly why the Kenobi series is going to look like a movie. That's why the Andor series is going to also look like a movie on a cinematic scale, I guess you could say. And the same exact thing goes for The Mandalorian Season 3. It's going to have a different cinematic style. That's what they're planning to do in order to really give it a massive upgrade. So, with that being said, of course, we do know that Kathleen Kennedy over the years has caused a big problem within the Star Wars franchise, created the major divide between the Star Wars fandom, which, by the way, was very sad. You know, I think that obviously now a lot of people are coming together. We can see a lot of people reuniting, which is absolutely beautiful, I must add. I mean, it's really nice and refreshing to see this, that we're now in a phase of where Star Wars is beginning to recover. You know, we had a little bit of a good start in the beginning, then it made a major dip, and now we're going back up again with Star Wars. So, things are looking bright for the future, without a doubt. Now, with that being said, of course, with The Mandalorian Season 3, however, now in development, both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars projects for their new universe moving ahead. Now, it's described that recently Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy has been going through a rough phase behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. It's described that Kathleen Kennedy wants to fire creator Jon Favreau for his overall direction within the Star Wars franchise, and how the Star Wars fandom has been reunited, making it appear as though her vision of Star Wars with the sequels and more was intentionally bad. Kathleen Kennedy went as far to take this up with Disney CEO Bob Chapek at one point in time in an attempt to convince him to fire Jon Favreau from Star Wars and Lucasfilm in general. Now, it's described that Kathleen Kennedy was unsuccessful with this attempt, in that Kathleen Kennedy failed to convince Bob Chapek to let go of Jon Favreau. Kennedy is best described to feel overly jealous and humiliated over, of course, Jon Favreau fixing the Star Wars franchise with just one episode of The Mandalorian by bringing back Luke Skywalker into the equation here. So, let's stop right there for 1 second before we actually move on here. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, we actually talked about this before in the past. She really has little to no creative power, to say the least. She really doesn't. She only is working on the Acolyte series, which, by the way, her power over that, creatively speaking, has also been reduced because of what we went over today, a couple of posts ago. Go ahead and check them out. It is a very interesting situation that we're in. You know, we see Kathleen Kennedy, you know, getting into a rough spot or a rough phase with Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO. Kathleen Kennedy is obviously having a lot of problems with Jon Favreau because it makes her look bad. It makes it look as though that she did this on purpose. That's exactly how she feels, in which, honestly, guys, I feel that everything was done purposely with the sequel trilogy movies. There is no way that somebody that, as a Star Wars fan, or somebody that's passionate for Star Wars, would do what they did to George Lucas. There's absolutely no way. I mean, look at what Jon Favreau did. He did amazing things. Look at what Kathleen Kennedy did. She broke promises. She lied to George Lucas's face. And she just really did not care about the fans. This is a person, by the way, let's not forget about this big interview, that Kathleen Kennedy denied that there was any source material to work from for the new movies and or the TV shows. Denying that Star Wars Legends even exists. The thousands of books, novels, comics, and video games combined. Alright? Labeling them as non-existent. Can you believe that? She actually said this, that there was no source material. So it really does bring, you know, something to one's attention. Exactly why is Kathleen Kennedy a part of Lucasfilm to begin with? Again, as I stated before in the past, I mean, she is a very power-hungry person. It seems that that's exactly how she comes off as. Very self-absorbed, very much self-centered in that sense, and, you know, Hollywood has a lot of that, unfortunately, but I think that Kathleen Kennedy is, you know, the biggest example of that, at least in my book. I think that she is the main example of how often, you know, this happens in Hollywood in different scenarios. So like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on the one from night to moon.